Ladies, I need you to hear me on this. When a man hurts you, it ain't always about you. I know that sounds backwards, but let me break it down. The shocking truth is this. A man who hurts you is often a man who is already broken, and broken people, they cut others with their own jagged pieces. But here's where it gets dangerous. Too many women stay hoping they can heal him, hoping love can fix him. Let me tell you something. Love does not heal a man who does not want to be healed. Let me break something down to you that a lot of people don't want to talk about, especially when it comes to relationships. And that is this: when a man hurts you, it often ain't about you. You're just standing in the line of fire of something that started long before you ever walked into his life. I'm talking about that deep buried pain that's been living inside him for years, maybe since he was a little boy. You just happen to be the one close enough to catch the shrapnel when he exploded. See, too many men are walking around wounded. I'm not talking about physical wounds. I'm talking about emotional, spiritual, psychological wounds. A lot of these men grew up without ever being taught how to deal with their feelings. They were told to man up, to stop crying, to be tough. They were taught that vulnerability was weakness, that emotions made them soft, and that talking about their pain was something only women do. So what do instead? They bottle it all up. They suppress it. They walk around like nothing's wrong, smiling on the outside but breaking down on the inside. Now here's where it gets dangerous. When a man is hurting and doesn't deal with that pain properly, that pain doesn't just disappear. It turns into anger. It turns into resentment. It turns into self-hate. And when he doesn't know how to love himself, he sure as hell don't know how to love you. That's the truth. A man who has not dealt with his own pain will make you his emotional punching bag. Not always physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. He'll lash out. He'll shut down. He'll play games. He'll lie. He'll manipulate. And here you are thinking, what did I do wrong? Baby, you didn't do a damn thing wrong. You just got too close to a man who hasn't done his inner work. And I know how it happens. I've seen it time and time again. You see the potential in him. You see the good parts of him. You see the charm, the ambition, the smile. You fall in love with the version of him he shows you when everything's good. But what you don't see right away is the storm brewing beneath the surface. The hurt from his childhood. The trauma from past relationships. The fear of not being enough. And when that storm comes out, it ain't pretty. It ain't fair. But it's real. He starts pulling away. Or maybe he becomes cold, distant, even cruel. He starts blaming you for things that don't make sense. He becomes inconsistent. He disappears when you need him the most. And the worst part is, sometimes he comes back just long enough to give you hope again, just to tear it down later. And you keep thinking, if I just love him harder, maybe he'll change. Maybe if I'm patient, he'll heal. But hear me loud and clear. You cannot heal a man who is committed to staying broken. That is not your job. That is not your assignment. That's God's business. And even God can't help someone who won't help themselves. Now I know you're loyal. I know you're strong. I know you believe in love. But love is not supposed to destroy you. Love is not supposed to leave you crying on the bathroom floor, questioning your worth, losing sleep, doubting yourself. That's not love. That's emotional warfare. And a broken man who hasn't faced his demons will drag you through hell without even realizing he's doing it. You need to understand that some men hurt you not because they're evil, but because they're in pain. They don't know how to show love properly because they've never been taught. Maybe they never saw a healthy relationship growing up. Maybe they were abandoned, betrayed, neglected. Maybe the world told them they ain't good enough, and they believed it. So when someone like you comes along, someone who's real, someone who loves with all her heart, it terrifies them. Because deep down they don't believe that they deserve that kind of love. So they sabotage it. They run from it. Or worse, they hurt you before you have the chance to hurt them, even though that was never your intention. But let me say this, understanding where a man's pain comes from does not mean you have to stay and suffer because of it. Yes, he might be broken. Yes, he might need healing. But that does not mean you are required to be the one to fix him. That's not love. That's martyrdom. And baby, you were not put on this earth to bleed for a man who won't even bandage his own wounds. Let him go. Let him find his healing. Pray for him, sure. But don't you sacrifice your peace trying to save someone who doesn't want to be saved. Because while you're busy trying to patch him up, you're bleeding out. While you're trying to show him he's worthy, you're forgetting that you are worthy too. Worthy of consistency, worthy of respect, worthy of effort, worthy of peace. Men who are hurting need to do the work. They need to confront their demons. They need to face their truth. And until they do, they will keep repeating the same toxic cycles. No matter how good you are, no matter how much you give, you could be everything he's ever dreamed of, and he still won't treat you right. Not because you're not enough, but because he hasn't healed enough to receive you. So the next time a man hurts you, don't rush to blame yourself. Don't internalize his brokenness. Step back and ask yourself, is this man hurting me because he's hurt himself? And if the answer is yes, know that it's okay to walk away. Know that it's not your job to carry someone else's pain. Know that you deserve a man who's whole enough to love you the way you deserve to be loved. Now let's get something straight right now, because I see way too many women making this mistake, thinking that love is enough to fix a man who refuses to fix himself. That right there, that belief is the reason so many of y'all end up tired, drained, broken, and confused, because you went into a relationship thinking your love was the cure. But here's the truth, and I say this with love. You can't outlove dysfunction. See, love is powerful, no doubt. Love can heal. Love can uplift. Love can inspire. But only, and I mean only, if the person on the receiving end wants to be healed, uplifted, and inspired. That's the missing piece. A lot of you are out here giving your all to a man who ain't even trying. You praying for him, encouraging him, building him up, holding him down. But he ain't even standing up for himself. You're throwing all this love into a black hole and wondering why you're empty. Baby, it's because he's not meeting you halfway. Hell, he ain't even walked 10 steps in your direction. Let me tell you something real. A man who does not want to grow will resent you for trying to help him. You think you're motivating him, but he sees it as pressure. You think you're loving him deeply, but he feels exposed. Why? Because when someone is committed to staying where they are, staying broken, staying lost, staying small, your love starts to feel like a mirror. It shows them what they're not doing. It shows them who they could be if they got their act together. And not every man is ready to face that reflection. So what happens? He pulls away. He lashes out. He starts making you feel like you're the problem. He'll say things like, "You're always on my case," or "You think you're better than me," or "I didn't ask you to do all that." And the sad part is you start believing it. You start second-guessing yourself. You start shrinking. You start doing less just to keep the peace. And before you know it, you're not even you anymore. You're a watered-down version of yourself, trying to love a man who never intended to rise to your level in the first place. And here's the part that stings. Some of you confuse suffering with loyalty. You think the more you endure, the more it proves how much you love him. You tell yourself, if I just hold on a little longer, he'll change. But time don't change people. Effort changes people. Accountability changes people. Self-awareness changes people. If he's not doing the work, the only thing time is doing is wasting yours. I'm going to say something bold, and I need you to hear it in your spirit. Your love is not rehab. It's not therapy. It's not a 12-step program. Love is a gift. It's sacred. It's supposed to be mutual. It's supposed to be nourishing, not exhausting. When you love someone, yes, you support them. Yes, you help them through hard times, but you don't carry their healing on your back. That's too heavy. That's not your load to bear. That's his. If a man has unhealed trauma, that's not your job to fix. If he has emotional baggage from his past, you're not the one who has to unpack it. If he has self-worth issues, insecurities, toxic habits, that's not something your love alone can cure. He's got to want to address that. He's got to want to get better. And until he does, nothing you do will ever be enough. Not because you're not enough, but because he's not ready to receive the love you're offering. And let me be clear, a man who truly loves you will want to be better for you. He won't let his pride stop him from growing. He won't let his pain sabotage your relationship. He'll look at you and say, "I can't lose her, so let me deal with my stuff." That's what a grown man does. A man who's serious about you will do the uncomfortable work. He'll read the books. He'll go to therapy. He'll listen when you speak. He'll make real changes, not just empty promises. Because love doesn't just feel, it acts, it moves, it takes responsibility. So stop throwing yourself into emotional fires, trying to save a man who's holding the gasoline. If he doesn't want help, you can't force him. If he won't face his demons, you can't fight them for him. And if he refuses to grow, then baby, you've got to go. You were not sent here to lose yourself, trying to complete a man who won't even try to complete himself. You're not his missing piece. You're a whole woman, and you deserve a whole man, not a project, not a promise, a partner, one who shows up, one who grows up, one who steps up, Anything less than that is beneath what you were born for. Let me tell you something right now that could save you years of heartache. If you really let it sink in, confusion is not from God. That back and forth, hot and cold, never sure where you stand, make you question your worth kind of relationship. That's not divine. That's dysfunction. And I don't care how good he looks, how smooth he talks, or how much potential you think he has. God is not the author of confusion. When something is right for you, it brings clarity. It brings peace. It doesn't make you anxious every day, wondering what's going on. When a man is serious about you, you won't have to play detective. You won't be up at night analyzing texts, trying to decode his silence, or reading into every little thing he does. When a man is sent by God, he won't make you beg for reassurance. He won't keep you guessing. He won't leave you hanging. He will show up consistently and clearly. But when a man is still broken, unsure, or emotionally unavailable, you'll feel it. You'll feel it in the way your spirit gets uneasy around him. You'll feel it in the way you start to lose confidence, little by little. One day you're happy. The next day you're crying in your car, trying to convince yourself it's just a rough patch. But deep down, you know it's more than that. You know that real love doesn't feel like this. You just don't want to admit it, because admitting it means letting go of what you hoped it could be. See, confusion is a tactic. Some men don't do it on purpose, but their inconsistency creates emotional instability. And if you're not careful, that instability becomes addictive. It becomes a cycle. He pulls away. You chase. He gets close. Then he goes distant. And every time he comes back, you feel a high. But that high is followed by a crash, because he never stays. And you keep thinking maybe this time will be different. But it's not. It never is. Because he hasn't changed. He hasn't done the work. And you're out here trying to build a future with someone who's still undecided about the present. And let me speak on this. When a man wants you, you'll know. There won't be confusion. There won't be games. He'll tell you what he wants, and his actions will match his words. You won't have to initiate every conversation. You won't feel like you're the only one trying. A real man makes it known that he's serious. He makes you feel safe. He makes it clear that you're not an option. You're the priority. So when you find yourself always asking, where is this going? Or what are we doing? That's a red flag right there. You shouldn't have to ask a grown man what his intentions are. If he truly values you, he'll make those intentions known, without you having to pull it out of him. Because here's the thing. A confused man will confuse you. A broken man will break you. A lost man will make you lose yourself. And the problem is, so many women confuse this chaos for passion. You think the ups and downs mean he cares. You think the arguments mean he's emotionally invested. You think the dramatic makeup moments are proof of love. No, that's not love. That's trauma bonding. That's toxicity. That's your heart getting used to dysfunction and calling it chemistry. Let me tell you something. Peace may not be as loud, but it is way more powerful. That relationship that feels boring to your chaos-trained heart, that might just be what love is actually supposed to feel like. No games, no mixed signals, just two people choosing each other every day, with honesty and respect. And if that feels foreign to you, it might be time to unlearn what you've been calling normal, because God is not trying to confuse you. He's not trying to make you chase love, or prove your worth to somebody who can't even show up for himself. God will never send you someone who draws you away from your peace. If a relationship is constantly draining you, constantly making you doubt yourself, constantly throwing your emotions into a blender, that's not God's will for your life. That's your will trying to force something. He never co-signed. Sometimes we hold on because we think we can't do better, or worse, we think this is what love is supposed to feel like. But let me remind you of this. God does not bless mess. He does not put his stamp on confusion. That's not alignment. That's attachment. And if you don't let go of confusion, you'll never make space for clarity. The right man will feel like a deep breath, not a tight chest. He will calm your spirit, not constantly disturb your peace. He will make you feel seen, not invisible. He will be consistent, not convenient. And until you believe you deserve that kind of love, you'll keep accepting the kind that confuses and consumes you. So the next time you find yourself in a situation that makes you question your worth, remember this. Confusion is a sign. It's a message from your spirit saying, this ain't it. Don't ignore it. Don't excuse it. Don't romanticize it. Respect your peace enough to walk away from anything that threatens it. Because real love brings peace, not pain dressed up as passion. You keep wondering what's wrong with you. You keep going over every word you said, every text you sent, every little thing you could have done differently. You're replaying moments in your head like a movie, trying to figure out what made him pull away, what made him go cold. You start asking yourself, am I too much, too emotional, too needy? But let me stop you right there. You are not too much. You are not hard to love. He's just not ready. And when I say not ready, I don't mean he's a bad man. I'm not saying he's evil or out to hurt you on purpose. Sometimes a man just isn't in the place in life where he can receive the kind of love you're offering. You're handing him something real, something deep, something mature, and he's still stuck in survival mode. He's still trying to figure out who he is. He's still trying to patch up holes in his heart with temporary fixes. He's not ready because he hasn't done the inner work. And when a man hasn't done the work, even the best kind of love will feel uncomfortable. You know what happens when a man who's not ready meets a woman who is. He panics. You walk into his life and start showing him what real love looks like. Patience, consistency, accountability, support. And instead of rising to your level, he starts pulling back, not because of you, but because of the mirror you become. You show him everything he's not ready to be, and instead of appreciating it, he starts to resent it. He doesn't know what to do with it. He feels like he's drowning in expectations, when really you're just asking for the bare minimum. But here's the problem. Because you're so loving, so loyal, so committed, you start to adjust. You start shrinking yourself. You lower your standards, thinking maybe you were expecting too much. You stop bringing things up because you don't want to seem dramatic. You give more of yourself, hoping it'll finally make him see your worth. And all the while, he's still giving you breadcrumbs, still inconsistent, still emotionally unavailable, still acting like loving you is a chore. Let me tell you something. A man who is ready doesn't make you feel like loving you is work. He doesn't treat your emotions like they're a burden. He doesn't go ghost when things get deep. He doesn't tell you he's not ready for a relationship while still trying to enjoy the benefits of one. When a man is ready, he's all in, not halfway, not when it's convenient, not just when he's lonely. He shows up for you, fully. But a man who's not ready, he will make you doubt your worth, not because you're not worthy, but because he's not equipped to hold what you carry. He's still stuck in his old patterns. He's still chasing distractions. He's still avoiding accountability. And it's easier for him to blame you, to say you're too much, than to admit he's not enough right now. Not for you, not for this level of love. And I know what you're thinking, but he has potential, and that might be true. He might have greatness in him. He might have a good heart underneath the layers of pain, confusion, and pride. But you can't build a relationship on potential. You're not in the business of raising grown men. You're not his mother. You're not his therapist. You're not his spiritual life coach. You're a woman who deserves love right now. Not someday. Not eventually. Not when he gets himself together. Now. Because let me ask you this. Who's pouring into you while you're pouring into him? Who's loving you while you're waiting for him to figure out how to love back? Who's showing up for you while you're holding everything together by yourself? That's not partnership. That's self-sacrifice. And you were never meant to be the sacrificial lamb for a man's emotional immaturity. You are not hard to love. You are not asking for too much. You're just asking the wrong man. The right man will think you're a blessing. He'll be excited to learn how to love you properly. He'll listen when you speak. He'll apologize when he's wrong. He'll make plans with you in mind. He'll make sure you never have to question how he feels. And most importantly, he'll make the effort, not just when he's about to lose you, but every single day. So stop settling for confusion when you deserve clarity. Stop accepting bare minimums when you bring so much to the table.